Hi everyone, Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. Today is the 19th of July, 2019, and I'm sitting here trying to stay cool. We're in the middle of a heat wave here in the Northeast. I thought I would do a couple of readings on things, on some people. The usual suspects, as it were. We have a big week coming up with Robert Mueller's testimony. That's supposed to be happening on the 26th. It was supposed to happen last week on the, was it the 17th, the day after the eclipse, and then they rescheduled it for some reason. I'm not sure. I know why. But I want to see how Trump is doing with all of this coming. Just see his energy, read his energy, and then we'll look into some other people who'll be in the news this week, I think. So let's see. This is the immediate environment. So it looks like he's looking to distant shores for aid. This is also a card about waiting for your ships to come in. Now, I guess depending on what you sent out, it depends on what's going to come back. Let's see what's crossing that. Okay, we have emotional ups and downs. This is mood swings. This is a little bit of lunacy. So there's emotional instability with this. Let's see what's at the root of that emotional instability. And we have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is wanting to go on an adventure. And this knight he's not quite moving yet. He's rearing up, with all this, drama. It's like, I'm going to go on this great adventure. And the horse rears up, but still not on the great adventure. I think this has to do with him going on the campaign trail, which is something that probably the thing he loves most about being president is running for it. We have this big sort of like feather, which looks like a flame. So big ideas, big inspired ideas. And yet he's holding back the horse. So there are things that are holding him back. Let's see the past. Okay. We have the Ten of Swords. So there has recently been some sort of loss. Excuse me. There's a mosquito in here, and I keep thinking he's biting me on my neck. Oh, he is. Hold on. Get out of here. I'm not crazy. There really is a bug in here. Missed him. Oh, he's her. Yeah, so in the past here, there's some sign of loss. I wonder what that's about. We'll keep going and see what comes up. What's in the sky for Herr Trump? Oh, the Queen of Wands. This is usually Nancy Pelosi. But it could also be women. So a woman seems to be taking the I'm going to say the starlight, but when you're on stage, the limelight. Thank you. I wonder if they called it limelight because they used lime to make the lights. I bet it like burns really like white or something. I'll have to Google that. So we have a whole new beginning this week. Well, that's interesting. New beginnings, or something foolish. So he could do something foolish, which would not be something that is unusual, I would say. All right, let's see what how it seems from the outside. Oh, wow, we have the Wheel of Fortune. That's a change in fortune. Domestic situation. This is the Knight of Pentacles. Some readers call this the mercenary. And I feel as though he's working something out, or his people are working something out, so that he continues to have money for some, money. Like he still has a flow coming into him. Now, it's very possible with this card being the first card, the money could come from foreign places. Okay, so that doesn't bode well for somebody who wants to stay president, right? All right, let's see what's hopes and fears. He fears information coming fast and furious, and the outcome. Okay, not really being able to do much, having to sort of sit there and watch it all happen. Wow. So I think this might be I feel like he's getting pressure from all sides, and perhaps this in the past he has come to a realization, whereas people have come to a realization or that it's done, it's over, like the fat lady has sung and the opera is over. That's what these cards look like. And then this is him looking for friendlier shores, as it were. Yeah, so wow, these are pretty powerful and interesting cards. So it looks like there's a big shift coming up this week for him. All right, let's see. I want to do some cards on Mueller, because Mueller is going to be in the news this week as well. And I think I'll use a different deck. Hold on one second. In honor of Mueller being a Leo, a very shy and retiring Leo who doesn't like the limelight. He's a 7. That's why he doesn't like the limelight. His soul and his outer personality and his numbers. If you haven't checked out my numerology on him, it's pretty fascinating. I'll link to this reading so you can take a look at it, or you can just look for it. You can just what's the word I'm looking for? You can just, what is it? Search in my. Sorry, I'm having a little trouble with my cards. Search my channel for it, but I'll link it. Okay. This is Mueller this week. How is he doing? And then I think I want to do Barr, so I might use a different deck for him. I have a top deck that I cannot find. I wish I could do it, because Barr definitely deserves the Toth deck. like Lena says. Okay. Let's see this is. All right. So this is the first card that came up. This right side up is trying to find his balance with all this tumultuousness behind him. There is I don't know if you can see it, there's an infinity symbol here. As you sow, so shall you reap. This is him attempting to keep his feet about him through all of this emotional stuff. This is not something that he's comfortable with, of course, but it was reversed. So I'm not sure if that means he can't find, like he's not going to be able to just, the facts, ma'am. So let's see what else comes up. I want to see the whole reading before I decide what that card actually means. What's crossing him? Well, isn't that interesting? The same card that Trump got for his immediate environment, waiting for your ships to come in. Let's see what's at the root of this. Okay, illumination, the sun. And so he wants to come clean, or he wants things to be seen, whether he wants things to be seen or not, things are going to be seen. So this is about an illumination of the facts. Okay, I know what these cards mean. I know I asked about Mueller, but these cards are talking about Trump's not being able to get the resources that he needs, and those resources coming from foreign places. Now, what does that have to do with Mueller? That wasn't really what he was there to prove, right? It wasn't about the money. It was about the help, but not the money from foreign sources. Let's see what's in the past. Okay, in the past, he had the power. He was, he was in charge. He was, saying, you do this, you do that, you do this. Pointing, who does what and what then goes where. So it's interesting. Let's see what's in the sky. The Ten of Swords. That's interesting because this was Trump's past. The end of something. And I don't feel like it's the end of Mueller. I think he's fine. The immediate future, the moon. These are all the same cards coming up. So we're looking at emotional. Yeah, this is going to be big emotional stuff. Wow. How it's seen from the outside. The devil. Let's keep going. The domestic situation. The Queen of Swords. This is a justice card, but it's a feminine justice. I think this is one of his major numbers. I think he's got a 52-7 in his numbers. I think that was one of his sevens. Now I have to go back and look. Hopes and fears, anxiety. He must be nervous. An outcome. The Five of Wands, chaos, confusion, fighting. But this kind of fighting is like nobody really gets hurt. Maybe they get a clunk on the head, but nobody's killed with that kind of fighting. It's a lot harder to kill somebody with a blunt object than it is with a sword. If that was with the Five of Swords, I might say. Okay, let's continue. Okay, the world. So we have the world. And the world is about an ending. I want to say these cards, because they're so connected to the cards I did on Trump, and now I'm asking about Mueller, is that this reading is less about Mueller as the person, and I think more about Mueller as the conduit for the end of Trump on some level. All right, let's see if what's underneath here. And we have Mueller underneath. So the King of Swords, that is. All right, so there's wow. This is, I don't know if this is why it was, they needed another week. Maybe something needed to come out. Maybe something needed to be redacted. Although Mueller said he wasn't going to talk about anything but what was in the his portion, not about the Southern District of New York, what he sent there, or the Cohen stuff that just came out, all that unredacted stuff. All right. It looks like it's the end of Trump. It's hard for me to believe, quite frankly. It's like one of those things, I'll see it, I'll believe it when I see it. And even if the cards are saying it, and, the cards, at some point this all has to end. maybe we've gotten to the point where we've learned enough from him. All right. So I want to do one more reading, and we're going to do it on Barr. And hold on one second. Oh, I got to roll, get my cards. All right, this is getting kind of long, so I'll try to go as fast as I can. So Barr is, I'm telling you, man, he is bad news. Bad news. He's doing everything possible to obstruct. Okay. Boy, talk about the president's lawyer. Okay. Let's see what's going on with Barr this week. He recused himself from the Epstein thing, and then he de-recused himself. Although I don't think that's a word, but we're going to make it a word today. De-recused. Do you see my little Tyrannosaurus Rex back there? In case you were wondering what that was. I have a couple of toys because I have some kids that come in with their folks, and we like to put the dinosaurs in different places so when they come in they can find them. They look for them. But it's a very small office, so they never have to look very far. All right, Barr. Speaking of Tyrannosaurus Rex. Okay. We have the King of Wands here. Immediate situation. See what's crossing that? The Lovers, which is a choice card. So this is about the choices that he makes. In a way, he's actually more powerful than Trump because he's in a position to obstruct, play defense for Trump, right? So we have him in a position of power, and then we have what's challenging him are the choices that he's made. See what's at the root? We have the Six of Wands. This is a card, this in other decks is a victory card, but in this deck, it's very interesting. I don't know if you can see this. It's a guy lying on what seems to be an altar. And 6 as a vibration often is a number of sacrifice. When you have 6s in your chart, you come to understand what sacrifice is. Generally, you're sacrificing for your family or your community. And I think in Barr's case, he's could be sacrificing for his family. We don't know the whole story between his father and Epstein. He's definitely sacrificing himself for the Republicans, and to a certain extent sacrificing himself for his president. But I think it's less about Trump and more about the Republican Party and maybe things that they want to keep hidden. But at the root of it is he's kind of taking the position of the person who's willing to sacrifice his reputation, I would say, to further whatever agenda is being furthered here. Let's see what's in the past. We have the Eight of Swords. This is somebody who's had to be very, very careful about what he said and how he moved forward. And this is somebody who's restricted and maybe doing stuff that he would normally not want to do, but he's not given a lot of, there's not a lot of directions. He can only go in the direction, in a certain direction. Otherwise, everything gets destroyed. So that's the past, though. Let's see what's in the sky. We have the Page of Coins. This is some sort of new money thing happening with him. Let's just keep it up there and see what else we get. The immediate future. We have the Knight of Cups. This is sort of moving in a direction. There's an illusionary quality to this. There is a sense of doing it for a higher purpose, taking actions. But it could also be, like that smoke and mirrors thing. Okay, let's see how it's seen from the outside. We have the Three of Wands. This is somebody in this deck who's skillfully waving the wands around, using his creativity. Okay, let's see the domestic situation. We have the Three of Cups. So there's some sort of celebration going on. This could be his home and family. He might, I don't know if he ever goes on vacation, but be having fun with his family. The Hopes and Fears is the Fountain card. This is a card that's specific to this deck. It's not generally seen in the tarot, but the Fountain card is really about the nothingness that everything comes from. So it's creativity. It's pure potential of creativity. And so there is this sense that things could work really good or go really bad. It's not decided yet. Outcome. We have the Five of Cups. So we have some sorrow here. Having loss. This is a loss card, emotional loss. But this is also, it's not a complete loss. He still has some things behind him that he can count on. But generally, this is a card of loss. I don't know. There's Barr doesn't strike me as somebody who would fall for the smoke and mirrors that is Trump. But he has a way of bringing out people's shadow. He has a way of everybody he touches, they show their true colors on some level. And I don't know, it's weird, man. It's weird. I was having some thoughts about Trump today and his lack of integrity in all things. And I think maybe I'll talk about that later today if I can figure out how to broach the subject of what sort of came up when I was just pondering things. Let's see if we can get a major arcana. We have the Eight of Coins. So that's about like continuing to do the same thing. So if he's obstructing, he'll continue to obstruct. The Nine of Coins, backed by the rich and powerful. The Two of Wands. In this deck, the Two of Wands is about not being able to create or function without the help of somebody else. So there could be somebody else in this equation that we're not seeing, or it just could be the Republican Party, because they have to be complicit, right, in doing all of this. And we have the Ace of Coins underneath. So this looks to me, okay, so what this looks to me like is Barr is going to sacrifice his reputation and himself to a certain extent, taking the bullet, so to speak, not a literal bullet, the metaphorical bullet for the president, but not to worry because he will be compensated. He is going to be compensated for his trouble. So that's it. That's what it looks like. It looks like he will continue to do what he's doing for as long as he can do it. Ultimately, it's not going to work out. Ultimately, the other, everything's going to come tumbling down, but he's going to be, he might be disgraced as far as his name gets, his name is associated with Trump, like forever. but he's going to get paid well for it. So, I mean, is that his bottom line? I don't know. I wouldn't. You know, I don't know. I don't know this guy. I'm just reading the cards. Okay. Trump is, do I remember what the cards were? Trump is all upset. It's the end of something for him. And we see it with the Mueller stuff right out there right out there in the limelight. And then Barr's just gonna sort of take one for the team and then get a good compensation package. That's what that looks like. So, all right. So that was interesting. I don't think I've ever done anything like that before. But this is a long reading, and I apologize for that. So if you enjoy this, like and subscribe, and I will connect that the numerology and Kabbalah of Robert Mueller to this video. Okay. Have a great day. Bye.